day we watch the news and we hear all these terrible things going on in the war in Iraq and other places, but very rarely do we have the opportunity to speak with someone who is on the front lines. Well, we're going to get that opportunity because we're going to speak with Jason Boamba. He was wounded in Iraq on November 12th. He's going to talk about his experience there and also what he wants to do with his life moving forward. So stay with us. That interview is very compelling, and it'll be coming up next.
I was at work about 6 o'clock in the evening or so. I got a phone call, and somebody called me, and they said, hey, how you doing? Is this Kathy? I was like, yes. And I'm trying to think, who is this person on the other end of the phone? And he said, have you talked to your son lately? And I was thinking, okay, which son? And when he said Jason, my first comment was, is he alive? And he said, well, let me tell you what happened. And I just kept asking him, is he alive? Tell me if my son is alive. And he was just saying, well, let me explain to you what happened. And I was at work, I was walking around in circles, and I'm trying to breathe, do stress relief, like, okay, just tell me. And when he started to tell me what happened, I just fell to pieces. I was still walking around in circles. Everywhere I looked to sit down, there was no place to sit because I didn't know what they were going to tell me. I did not want to hear from some stranger, your son is dead, on the phone from somebody that I'm not even connected with. This is the building where my son risked his life for. This is the building where when you hear the songs, Let Freedom Ring, this is where that action takes place. This is the building that stands for freedom. And when I'm standing here thinking about what it all means, just the concept of our young men and women that are in the armed services that fight every day to give us the right and give me the right to stand here and say thank you so much for all your services and the sacrifices you have made.
After leaving the White House in Washington, D.C., we headed down to Richmond, Virginia, where we had the opportunity to meet with Jason at the McGuire VA Medical Center. Jason and I talked about many things that happened in Iraq, and I wanted to let him know what my reasons were for producing this segment. On behalf of everybody that's watching, I want to thank you for your sacrifice, because it is incredible to me that you do this for people that you don't even know. And so when I thought about that, I said, what can I do as an American to pay homage to you, a gentleman who was wounded in war that I don't know? And we have put together an incredible package for your mom. And probably when you see her again, you might not even recognize her. But it is such a profound story that I saw here. And I just wanted to meet you and thank you for your service, because this is only the start. This is a new direction for you. And we want to follow your progress. What words would you like to say to viewers out there about how difficult it is in Iraq and all over, in other parts of the world with soldiers who are currently out there doing what they do on a daily basis?
What words would I like to say about it?
Yes.
It's hard on a daily basis being away from life that's normal to you. It's like night and day. You look at the difference between being in America and not being, on duty every day. And in Iraq, for the most part, you wear a uniform every day, and there's not time off for you to go put on tennis shoes and a pair of blue jeans and go run to the mall or hang out with your friends and drive around every day. Even if you're maybe off for that day, you have like a little time off, you're still on duty, and things do happen. From the base that I was stationed there, you could hear explosions whenever they happened, in the city around the base, from attacks, things like that. And there's always the allure of something happening, or the allure of a mission. So, being on duty every day is one of the hardest things, and having your friends get hurt. You know, hearing hearing about your friends getting hurt and having to go or respond to different platoons when they get attacked, and your buddies are in those platoons.
Every day, soldiers, just like Jason, enter battlefields and areas that are very volatile. It takes a lot of courage to do what these soldiers do on a daily basis.
I can't imagine the mindset that you're in when you put on your uniform and you are protecting a checkpoint or whatever. What type of mind frame are you in?
That's a good question. A lot of it boils down to knowing, being prepped and prepared for the situations that you're going to be in. And it falls down on your job and your position as far as what you're doing. You know, people at checkpoints, as far as soldiers are concerned, that they know ahead of time. They've been trained on how to handle those situations.
Having this very unique opportunity to speak with Jason about the war in Iraq, I really have a different mindset about the difficulties, challenges, and tribulations that these soldiers face on a daily basis.
And there are people that have to do this. And the fact that you are one of, and I call the chosen one, because not everybody can do what you do. I don't know that I could do what you do, but I appreciate it. Our viewers appreciate it, and we wish you well with your rehabilitation and your continued success with your rehabilitation. And I just want to say that I'm so happy to meet you. And I'm sure we don't get 1/5% of what really happens there. And I think just your presence, you've certainly enlightened me, so much so that I'm talking to other TV stations about producing a 13-week series, beginning with your story called A Soldier's Story. And we want to try and help other soldiers as well. So I just want to close out by, again, saluting you. You are certainly a gentleman, and we wish you well.
We'll be right back with more.
In your daily diet, you might want to include some of these green items here. You have broccoli, cucumbers, asparagus, celery. These things are great in helping you keep your body alkaline. Why do you want to keep your body alkaline? Because a lot of times that's the difference between one's wellness and sickness. Your pH balance is very important. And these green items here help you to assimilate the vitamins and nutrients that your body needs on a daily basis. And that's just a health tip from me and the Ultimate Makeover. Stay with us, we'll be right back. When I wake up in the morning and I have aches and pains, I really think about you. And the reason why I think about you is because from the day that I met you, which was about 3-4 months ago, until today, you are a constant inspiration to me. Because the last time that I put eyes on you, you were in a hospital bed. You were talking very faintly. You remember that. And now, not only are you here, sitting here with me, you walked into this room. So when I have my little aches and pains and my bad day, I think about you because I have nothing to complain about. The injuries that you sustained over there in Iraq, I don't want to go into the details of it, but they were serious.
They're pretty rough.
Yeah, very serious. To the point where they almost had you out of here.
You know, you're right, I almost died. I've been thinking about that more lately, that, you know, almost come back from the dead. You know, I think about that now because my life is more normal now. I can actually put on a pair of jeans. I've only been wearing jeans for 2 weeks, I think. My clothes are more normal, you know, my days are getting a little bit more normal. And you're right, I mean, because I had so many surgeries, I couldn't talk during our last interview. My voice was pretty much shot from being intubated so many times. So I've come a long way, and you know, thanks be to God. You know, He's really been my, my rock and my foundation through this thing. You know, through this tribulation, through this trial.
Like always, we made another dream come true, and I'd like to thank all of our program partners for help making it happen. And remember, it might just be you
who walks away with our next grand prize package.
Second